And in fact, I talked to the bureaucrat at Treasury years ago who's designing the program, and I asked him, "How did you pick 750 billion for the initial bailout?" And he said, "Well, Congress would never give us a trillion, and 500 billion seemed too little, so we split the difference." Think about that, right? I mean, it wasn't a mathematical formula, it wasn't a careful analysis. It was just what we could get away with, right? Uh, I was against the Wall Street bailouts for obvious reasons. I think accountability is important. The freedom to fail is important. And we got to also police the words we use. There's no such thing as discretionary spending and non-discretionary spending. If anyone who's ever been broke knows perfectly well that everything becomes discretionary. Everything when it's time to cut, when you only have so much money coming in, maybe you have to leave the fancy house and move down. I mean, and rent an apartment in an unflattering place, part of town. Maybe you have to stop leasing the car and go buy a jalopy. Maybe you're eating less filet mignon, right? Uh, Everything that was once seemed non-discretionary, that's absolutely essential, suddenly gets looked at closely. Now, I know what you're saying. You can get rid of all the so-called discretionary spending and it wouldn't solve the problem, but you need momentum. The public needs to see that you can make some cuts and stick to it before they're going to trust you touching the major social welfare programs. And I think America could live without the Urban Mass Transit Administration. I think it could live without the Appalachian Regional Commission or whatever it's called, right? I think we could get rid of some of these things, pocket some small savings, but create some momentum for a larger conversation about cuts. But if we don't cut anything because we can't cut everything, we're worse off.